How's everyone doing? This is going to be another What Didn't Make the Shelf video. This is a video series where I show you movies that didn't make the shelf, aka the collection. And shout out to Joe Marie at Martinez Joe 74. Check out their channel. They're really nice. They have a great collection. They came up with this idea, and it's an awesome idea. It's very cathartic for me to help thin down the collection every day, or every couple of days I'll look through the collection and say, I don't really need this one. I don't really want to watch this one again. So I want to get a pile. I will do a video like this. And this video, What Didn't Make the Shelf, is an all 4K edition. So I've got 11 titles right here. And let me know if you've seen any of them and what you think of them. And let me know which one of these is your favorite as well. Let me actually do the thumbnail quickly for it. Here we go. I don't want this to fall as more a shock face than, typical thumbnail face, but worried about it falling. I used to do a video series somewhat similar back in the day called Keep or Toss, but I was really just trying to rationalize keeping certain things. And now I feel like if, I'm trying to rationalize it, I should just get rid of it. If I can't see myself rewatching a movie, even if I do like it, it's gotta go. Space is at a premium. I don't want to keep things just to keep them. I've done that for too long. And I don't want to collect that way. I think everybody collects differently. I think it's personal to, each person. But for me, I just want to have movies that I love and I can see myself rewatching. So let's go ahead and get into it. First up, 2 4K copies of Matrix Resurrections. People ask me, why do you get duplicates? Sometimes if people have a good deal on a bundle or something like that, I can flip it and make a little bit of profit, or for trade bait, either way. I wasn't a big fan of this one. It was good to see some of the characters back, some of the new characters, but it just was a little bit convoluted, a lot bit convoluted. The Wachowskis here, now both going by she, her pronouns. I talk about this every time I talk about the Wachowskis. One that I think is underrated from them is Bound. So with Gina Gershon and Jennifer Tilly. But really enjoyed that one, and I'll be talking about that more coming up in another video, actually. But yeah, Matrix Resurrections, it's, the newest one that came out. And again, like I said, it's nice to see some of the characters. The effects were good. But I don't know, it doesn't have the same nostalgic feel as I was hoping it would. And I was just thinking about it, I was like, I'd really rather watch at least the original trilogy, if not, the first one is my favorite by far. And then I think the second one is probably my least favorite from the original trilogy. But yeah, it's a quadrilogy now. But I just wasn't a big fan of this one. I wanted to like it more than I did. And then, Keanu Reeves on here looking like John Wick, which I think those movies are so derivative. I know everybody loves those ones. I feel like I'm the only person that's not a huge fan of those ones. For me, the best modern action movies are the Raid movies, hands down. I'll even take the Equalizer movies. Faster, even with The Rock, I would take over the John Wick movies. But yeah, Keanu Reeves reprising his role right here. Carrie-Anne Moss. There's some different actors doing different roles in here now too. Neil Patrick Harris, his character. I mean, it is a bit of a satisfying aspects to it, especially at the end. But I don't know, some good special features too. It looked visually stunning on home video on the 4K release, but 2 copies I'm going to get rid of right there. I've actually had multiple copies of this before too, so but time to let them go, all of them. Next up is Man on a Ledge with Sam Worthington. I feel like he kind of blew up initially, and then I don't know if he really fully came to his full potential. Like everybody thought he was going to be this huge star, and he had some movies, but I feel like he never really got to his full potential. Elizabeth Banks, Jamie Bell, Anthony Mackie, Genesis Rodriguez, and Ed Harris in here. It's been a while since I've seen it. I thought it was good, but I just thinking about it, I was like, I don't know if I'd be in the mood to watch it again anytime soon. So it's kind of like a heist revenge movie, if you will. Sam Worthington's, saying he's going to jump off this building. People trying to talk him down, but there's other things going on there. It's essentially a big con. It's got some good tension. It's, a really watered down version, of like Ocean's 11, that kind of style where they're trying to, distract you and do something like a big heist going on. It just didn't live up to the hype for me. This slipcover is rare, actually. I've seen people sell the slipcover for, 20, 30 bucks, something like that. So some of the slipcovers on 4K releases go for ridiculous money now, and, 3 times the amount of the actual movie, if not more. I've seen like The Shallows 4K slip with the lenticular. I love that movie, so I'm never getting rid of that one. But I've seen that go for like $100. yeah, some of the slipcovers go for just absurd amounts of money. But yeah, 30 plus on this before. I think I've seen one time 40, but that was with the movie. And you can get the movie for like just the 4K without the slip for like $10. So I would price the slip at like 30 for that. But it is crazy to see some of the slips going for ridiculous, especially some movies that I don't think are very good. What was the one with Not Him or something like that with James Franco and Bryan Cranston? I didn't really care for that movie, but I think the slipcover for that one's going for a bit of money. I remember sold that a while ago. Why Him? I think that's what the name of it was, but why that movie? It was lukewarm at best. But, you know, the slipcover for that is out of print and goes for money. But this one, you know, was a good movie, but I just didn't love it. Didn't live up to the hype for me. I heard people, like, you know, just talk about this one a lot. I wanted more from it, but I think it was Genesis Rodriguez, the girlfriend in there that was helping in the heist. She was absolutely stunning in this one. So pretty much all the girls in here were in fact, they're great actresses too, but, you know, some nice eye candy. That doesn't hurt the movie, but again, I like it, but I don't see myself rewatching it anytime soon, so it's got to go. Next up is In the Heights, which I'm not a big musical fan, and I wasn't the biggest fan of this one. I like, you know, the aspect of, you know, trying to save up and, you know, get a better life for yourself and that sense of community. And I really, you know, again, I'm not a big musical fan, but there's one scene in here that really, like, didn't fit for the rest of the movie. They're like towards the end of the movie, they're like dancing on the side of a building, like on the rest of it was all, you know, somewhat grounded in reality. And that one scene kind of just didn't fit the rest of it. But yeah, this is based off of, you know, the Broadway musical. And, you know, if you like Hamilton and Crazy Rich Asians, there, you know, right there in the top, you'll probably enjoy this one for modern musicals. It just wasn't for me. And, you know, the guy owns like a little bodega, he's trying to save up all his money and move out of there. And, you know, it's wasn't the biggest fan of it, so that one's got to go. Next up is Detective Pikachu. I thought this was a fun one, but I do have a duplicate of this one, so that's why I'm getting rid of this one. You know, I didn't really watch Pokemon growing up as a kid. I think it's still on, which is mind-blowing. I watched, like, you know, maybe an episode here or there. But my girl was into Pokemon Go, and I'm very competitive, so I was like, let me start playing and see if I can beat her. And I remember walking the streets in the summer. It was like 1, 2 a.m. I'd be walking the streets. My back would be sweaty trying to, you know, catch all the pokes and beat her, level up, get to a higher level than she was at. I'm terrible. So I got more into it for a bit there and ended up getting, you know, acquainted with the characters and stuff like that. So I thought this was actually a fun film. Ryan Reynolds does the voice of Pikachu right here. And then there's Mr. Mime. But it was a decently entertaining one. Popcorn entertainment right there. So it was fun. Good animation, seeing some of the characters. Next up is Mortal Kombat. Again, I have a duplicate of this one. I thought this was actually really good. I think the animated one, though, Scorpion's Revenge, was even better. So I would definitely recommend checking out the animated Mortal Kombat movie called Scorpion's Revenge. The second one was good, too, but not as good as Scorpion's Revenge. But this one was a good one. I definitely wanted more from the ending. I never like movies where it kind of like sets itself up for a sequel, which this kind of does, but it's a standalone movie. But I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with these characters in the future and seeing more of these characters on the big screen. The old Mortal Kombat movie is nostalgia for me, but it's not great. And then the second was Annihilation. That was terrible. But yeah, it's awesome. The effects were great. I remember loving the game as a kid. Played it a little bit recently too, some of the newer games. The Collector is probably like my favorite new character. Let me know who your favorite Mortal Kombat character is. Let me know who your favorite Pokemon character is. Let me know what your favorite musical is. Let me know what your favorite heist movie is. Your favorite modern action movie. Your favorite sci-fi action movie. But yeah, it was a good movie. I feel like it could have been fine-tuned a bit. I wanted a bit more from it, but still a decently entertaining one, and awesome to see those characters on the big screen like that. Next up is The Goonies, and this one is directed by Richard Donner, who's done some amazing films, of course, Superman 1 and 2 with the Donner cut. He directed The Toy with Richard Pryor, Jackie Gleason, and the little kid from Christmas Story. He's done a whole bunch of other films. He's worked with Mel Gibson a lot, Maverick, Conspiracy Theory, which I think is really underrated with Julia Roberts too, and then the Lethal Weapon movies. So he definitely enjoys working with him. Assassins with Sylvester Stallone and Antonio Banderas, and Scrooge, which is like one of my favorite Christmas movies. He directed that too. Radio Flyer. So he's directed some great things. The original Omen too. That was a really good. I feel like he's done a bunch of different genres of films there, and the original Omen is classic too. Lady Hawk. So he's a tremendous director. I'm a big fan of Richard Donner. Christopher Columbus wrote this. He also wrote the original Gremlins movie. He's working on the actual Gremlins 3, and he's working on Goonies 2, which I feel like, I don't know if all the nostalgia movies coming out. I haven't seen Ghostbusters Afterlife. I've heard great things about it, but I just don't want to be one of those cases where it just relies on all the nostalgia factors so much and it's just so in your face. I want it to have the nostalgia factor, but also stand on its own modern take. But some of those ones just don't hold up with, trying to make like the Bill and Ted's, that recent one I thought was just a dumpster fire of a movie. I feel like I'm in the minority. I don't think I've heard anybody else hate on that movie, but I hated that movie so freaking much. So I feel like a lot of those ones where they try to take movies that were made, 30 years ago, 30 plus years ago, and try to, make it now, it just doesn't really hold up for me. And I think with the Goonies, maybe they'll have like the original cast, Sean Astin, Brolin, they're in, the spotlight now with, Deadpool for Josh Brolin, and then Sean Astin, he's been in a bunch of stuff, but he was even in Stranger Things for a little bit. But so they're relevant. And some of the other characters, the actors are back now doing things too. So they could be like the parents, and it could be their kids doing the adventures and stuff. So I could see that aspect for it. That could work, but I don't know. I'm always a little hesitant to check out ones like that. But Christopher Columbus, he's working on a Gremlins 3. That I could feel like that could work a little bit more. I always wanted a Gremlins 3 because at the end of Gremlins 2, there's the one, the drag or the one of the girl at the end that's still around. So I thought there could be more because there's still a gremlin alive during that end, all dressed up in the makeup and stuff. All done. I don't remember if it was a girl gremlin or if it was just dressed in drag. But either way, it was entertaining and ridiculous and over top. I like Gremlins too. So I think the Gremlins 3 could actually work. Christopher Columbus, he wrote a bunch of films, but he also directed Home Alone 1 and 2, Miss Doubtfire. I know he's done a whole bunch of other films that I'm trying to remember right now. Adventures in Babysitting is like one of my favorites growing up as a kid. He directed that one too, but he's written on so many different films. I think he directed the Rant movie too, which I'm not a big musical fan. And that one too. I don't know. I feel like, it's a musical. People, passed away from AIDS. I feel like, I don't know. It's when I think of musicals, I think more uplifting, and that was just like really tragic. And I just didn't work for me. So. I don't know. I wasn't a fan of that one, but I feel like, again, I'm one of the only people that didn't like Rent. But Goonies is an all-time classic. I'm only getting rid of this 4K because I have another one of it. And just one of my favorites growing up, too. Adventures in Babysitting is another one I just mentioned. But the Goonies, I remember watching this all the time as a kid. Love the heck out of this one. Let me know what your favorite childhood movie was. Princess Bride, Labyrinth, Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Although that one, when I was initially younger, gave me like some nightmares a little bit. But those are just some of the ones that I loved growing up. Space Jam is another one that I really enjoyed. There's the original Space Jam and then Space Jam: A New Legacy. I have a duplicate of this one, so I'm getting rid of that for that reason, because I do love the heck out of this movie, seeing all those characters. Especially, Sean Bradley actually he's in here, had an accident. He was riding his bike and got hit by a car, and I need to actually check more about that because he was a great player. He was a really tall player. He was good defensively. He was real skinny though, but he was a great person. And I just remember him. Everybody was, because he was so tall. But yeah, it's just sad to hear that happen to him. I think he was like paralyzed. So I hope that he's doing better. And he's really into, like, he took a sabbatical after college and did on like a missionary tour for his faith. I believe he's Mormon. So the fact that he got drafted so high after not playing for, I say it was like at least a year, is kind of, crazy, but I hope he's doing well. But to see all those characters, especially, I was big into basketball growing up, to see those, Muggsy Bogues, Charles Barkley, Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, just everybody involved in this. Larry Johnson was like my favorite basketball player growing up. I was a big Charlotte Hornets fan. And then when I moved to New York, Larry Johnson went to the Knicks. So, Grandmama, I followed, so I became a Knicks fan. But those Charlotte Hornets, back in the day, that team was so awesome. Del Curry, the father of Steph Curry and Seth Curry, But, you know, you've got Muggsy Bogues, Zoe, Grandma Ma, Kendall Gill, Rex Chapman, that whole crew. I loved them back in the day. I had a whole bunch of Hornets jerseys and shorts and gear. And so let me know who your favorite basketball team is and your favorite basketball player. But the new one with LeBron, I just wasn't a fan of. It just, I don't know. I don't feel that attached to some of the other players that were here, AD, the Brow. And I don't know, it just didn't have that same nostalgia factor for me. And I don't know, Don Cheadle, I love Don Cheadle as an actor. And Devil in a Blue Dress, which was like one of my favorite roles that he was in. That's getting a Criterion 4K. I have the old Twilight Time release. I might actually upgrade that one, keep both, because that's like one of my favorite movies. Well, I'd say maybe like a top 60 for me. I love the heck out of that movie. But Don Cheadle was also in Rebound, The Legend of Earl the Goat Manigault, another basketball movie. I don't know, that doesn't have a Blu-ray release. It definitely deserves a Blu-ray release. I think it might have a DVD release, but I saw like the old VHS tape for that. But I love the heck out of that movie. It's a super underrated movie. Let me know what your favorite basketball movie is. Let me know what your favorite sports movie is. There's a bunch of really good ones out there for sure. And again, I feel like nobody talks about Rebound. Not the Martin Lawrence comedy movie, but the Legend of Earl the Goat Manigault with Don Cheadle. Highly recommend the heck out of that one. So yeah, this one to me was disappointing. So getting rid of that for that reason. Next up is G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra. And this is directed by, was it Stephen Sommers, I believe? Yeah, who did the first two Mummy movies with Brendan Fraser, which I grew up on those. I remember seeing in the theater, in fact. But he directed Odd Thomas with Anton Yelchin, which I really love the heck out of that. Dean Koontz adaptation. Love that one. Even though I saw like the twist coming, I just still thought it was really good and evoked a lot of emotion. So I really appreciated that one. I think it's a underrated horror movie for sure. He also directed Van Helsing. I know he directed a few other things I'm trying to remember now. Deep Rising with Treat Williams, which I remember loving that one as a kid. This one to me, I wasn't a big fan of. The second one I liked a little bit better with The Rock. So yeah, again, this one's got to go. I like seeing the characters, but I didn't like a lot of the acting choices. Marlon Wayans, Channing Tatum. It just, I don't know. This one almost felt like 90s to me, but with even I don't know. I like some of the effects and the action shots and stuff like that. It was over the top, but I don't know. It just had like some of the, I feel like the acting choice reminded me a bit of like certain actors or certain casting choices. The type of actor that they were reminded me of like early 90s movies that I just wasn't, or even late 90s movies I just wasn't a fan of. But so that one's got to go. But there we go. Those are, oh, wait. I forgot the biggest one. Almost forgot it, but here's the 11th 4K release. Game of Thrones, the complete collection. I've got another copy of this. It's the only reason I'm getting rid of it. I love the heck out of this show. I slept on this show, and I can't believe I did, but I love this show so freaking much. One of the best shows ever made for me. I was hesitant on checking out all the hype. I remember seeing like clips and stuff. I was like, that doesn't really intrigue me that much. But, this was an amazing show. Let me know who your favorite Game of Thrones character is. And who your favorite house is for that matter. But are you looking forward to the prequel one coming out? I'm looking forward to the prequel show on seeing what they do with that with the different characters. And I thought this looked incredible on 4K, by the way. This is like this is how I watched it right here. So the only reason I'm getting rid of this one is because I have another copy. But I remember at one point I got a big lot of 4Ks with a couple of these in there too, like a year ago or so. But let me know what your favorite TV show of all time is. This would be my top 10 now. Probably like number 10 or maybe 9 even. But there you go. Those are the 11 pickups. If you've seen them, definitely let me know what you think of them. Again, I'm looking forward to the new prequel 4K prequel show for Game of Thrones. These are all 4Ks. And looking to see what they do with the characters. I feel like they could use some actors that were still around during that time. Neddard. Kingslayer, but they're probably not going to. They're going to use different actors. Maybe they can utilize those characters, but I highly doubt any of the same actors are going to be involved. But I feel like some of them could have been. But there we go. Those are the 11 4K pickups right there. If you've seen any of them, definitely let me know what you think of them. Let me know which one of these is your favorite. And then all the questions I asked too, leave me those comments down below because I love talking movies. on here, and TV shows too with you. I don't just want to show what I got. I want to talk about the stuff. And then, you know, interact on here too. That's what makes it fully entertaining for me. That's why I keep making videos. I've been making videos on here for, I don't know, like 14 years or something crazy like that. And I still love, you know, talking movies and collecting. So thank you so much for all the support on here. I really do appreciate it. And this is what didn't make the shelf, aka the collection. Hope everybody's doing well, and thank you for, you know, staying with me for all my goofiness for throughout the years and this video too. Take care.